Now let's have a look at XDP. XDP, also called Vault, is a way to create disk-to-disk backups. There are some very important differences between DP and XDP. In a DP relation, all snapshots will be replicated to the destination. The result of that is that the source volume and the destination volume are identical after an update. In an XDP relation, that is not the case. The destination will hold multiple snapshots that are not available on the source volume. This is called retention. Another big difference is that when you run a DP update, a snapshot will be created at the source when you update. During an XDP update, that snapshot already has to be there on the source, and that snapshot will be used to determine the new blocks. This snapshot, or these snapshots, because there can be multiple, have a property which is called the SnapMirror label. This is a very important distinction. The relationship can have a tiered setup in which the SnapMirror policy contains multiple rules that can be scheduled independently and search for an existing snapshot with a particular SnapMirror label. So every rule in the SnapMirror policy can have a different retention value called keep. So the relationship between a SnapMirror policy rule and a snapshot policy rule is based on a SnapMirror label. And as is the common function of a backup, the destination volume as a whole, or a selected set of files, can be restored from a snapshot on the destination volume. Also, you are able to restore to the existing source volume or to a new source volume. So, in short, XDP is disk-to-disk backup with a restore functionality. So what we'll be doing is we'll be creating source and destination volumes, create SnapMirror relationship of the type XDP, then we will create policies, add rules to the policies, connect the policies to the relations, and then we will initialize, and obviously we will monitor. So first let's have a look at the setting. We've got two SVMs. The first one's called XDP source, and the second one on the second cluster obviously is called XDP DST, which is the destination. These are identical SVMs, so there's no real source and destination. They have to have network interfaces in order to be able to be connected to, and the first one is 225, and the second one, the second SVM, has the IP address ending in 226. Also, the SVMs have to be peered. So let's check it, and we see that the peering is set up correctly. We've got a SnapMirror peering relationship between the two SVMs, so we can start. First, we create the source volume on the first cluster in XDP SRC, and we call it XDP source, and it's a 1 GB volume, and let's mount it. So it has no rules, we know that, we're going to fix that later. Then we will create the second volume, which is called XDP dest, and size is 5, and the volume size is 5 GB, and the type, important, is DP. So we've got both volumes configured. Now we create the SnapMirror relationship, which is between the two SVMs and the two volumes, and the type is XDP, and we're going to schedule it hourly. So we're going to create an hourly backup of the source volume. And so it's an uninitialized relationship. So first we create a policy, and the policy type is Vault. It's named XDP poll. Then we are going to add a rule to the policy. So we specify, and there we go, the SnapMirror label is hour, and the number of snapshot that we're going to keep on the destination is 6. So basically what we say here is we're going to create 6, we are going to keep 6 hourly snapshots. Then we add a second rule, and now we specify the SnapMirror label day, and we're going to keep 2 days. So we will have 6 hourly snapshots and 2 daily snapshots. Then we will modify the relationship, and specify that we want to use the XDP SnapMirror policy for that relationship. Now for the source volume, we'll have to create the snapshot policy. So we did the SnapMirror policy, now we create the snapshot policy on the source volume, and we specify the SnapMirror label of hour, which is the one that was also in the SnapMirror policy. And we keep a count of 1, and this is the first count, and the first schedule is hourly. So we can have multiple schedules inside that particular snapshot policy. So the first schedule is hourly, and the second schedule is going to be daily. Again, we keep 1, and the SnapMirror label is day, as the label in the SnapMirror policy. So the relationship is set. And then we connect the snapshot policy to the source volume. And we are ready to initialize the relationship. So we specify a destination and we initialize. Then we look whether the status is okay and it's idle, so the initialization is a fact. Now, to be able to have a look at the backup later on, we mount the volume. And then we add the policies for exporting the volume. So we specify the read-write policy, which is everybody full control. And after we've done that, we only have to enable NFS on both storage virtual machines. So we switch on NFS for the source SVM and we switch on NFS for the destination SVM. So then we open up 2 terminals from our Linux machine, and we make sure that we can access the namespace by connecting the read-write policy to the root volume of both SVMs as well. Then we mount the first one to the source volume, and we mount the second one to the destination volume to make sure that we can get access to both volumes. Now we create some files in the source volume. So just put some empty files in there. And once we've done that, we will see that on the destination volume, obviously there is nothing inside the destination volume because we have not yet updated the relationship. Now we are not going to be waiting for a full hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a snapshot on the source volume so that we can use that to restore a backup, or first to update. So we can use that to update the relationship based on that particular snapshot. Otherwise we'd have to wait for an hour, and we're not going to do that. So we run the SnapMirror update based on the temp snapshot, and now we should have the files on the destination volume. And there they are. So all the files on the source have been replicated to the destination. Now we're going to remove all the source files to establish a restore. So first of all, we clean the volume and we see there's no files in here anymore. So now what we can do is we go to the source SVM and we run the SnapMirror restore. So we specify the destination volume as the source volume and the source volume as the destination volume. And we use the snapshot temp. So this means that we will use the snapshot on the destination volume as the source snapshot for restoring the files. And it warns us about losing data that we created after snapshot copy on the source. So we ignore that because we want to restore that particular snapshot environment. And now when we look again on the source, we see we have restored our files. So the restore was successful.